Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is once again Friday night. It is 7 o'clock p.m., and that can only mean one thing: time for our weekly 1 hour live stream. And for yet another week in a row, we have a guest joining us, my longtime friend, Tim, or as he is called, Super Tim here. Tim, how did you come up with that? That was your Twitter handle, wasn't it, way back in the day?
It's been my Twitter handle. It's been my email for as long as I can remember. I had my email as Krypton Tim for a little bit, yeah, but you know, because as anyone who has frequented our Discord knows, I'm a Superman fan, and so and
amongst other fandoms.
Amongst other fandoms, but primarily I like Superman's my bread and butter, and so I just always stuck a super at the beginning, and it just rolls off the tongue really nicely. So,
and coincidentally, mine was a play on yours with Super Tie.
yes, because you never used Twitter before. So,
what is Twitter?
Nobody knows anymore because it's
it doesn't exist anymore.
It's X now.
So let's see who we've got in the chat with us this week. We have Anna. We've got Buddy. We've got Age Forgotten. We've got Max. We've got Karen. We've got Mark. We've got a nice little group going here tonight. And Tim, as you know, for the most part, this live stream, we focus on historic vessels, maritime history,
yes.
Things like that. But every now and then we take a little break and we talk about current vessels and what's happening in the maritime world. And that's kind of what we're going to do here this week. We've got a couple of new people. Aaron is here. Welcome, Aaron. Sonny H. Welcome, Sonny. Glad to have you all with us. So, Tim, I'm gonna pull back the curtain a little bit and tell you how I got the idea for this stream. So I read, and I mentioned this on our stream a few weeks ago, that because we do a little news segment every now and then on the streams, that Disney is going to be sailing out of Galveston at some point.
Yes.
So, we got Moonzer here as well. Welcome, Moonzer. So, it occurred to me, I was like, well, I've never been on a Disney ship. Well, I've only been on one ship, the Carnival Spirit. But I know that you've been on multiple Disney cruises. So, I would like for us to have a discussion, and you can share with us what those experiences on a Disney ship would be like, because again, I've never done it. I don't know if anyone in the chat has. So let's just go ahead and get right into it and jump into your very first Disney cruise. Let's start there.
My first Disney cruise was in 2015. And I went with my parents and my now ex-wife, and we went, and I'd never been on a cruise before, and so I was very new to the whole thing. I didn't know if I would like it or anything. I mean, my thing that was basically the thing I wanted to do is they were going to be showing movies on the ship.
Of course.
It was the summer of 2015, May. We were going to be sailing out the first week of May, and that just so happened to be the release date of Avengers: Age of Ultron. And so I was like, okay, at least I'll get to see like the new Avengers movie on the ship. Um, uh, yes, we're going to get into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of
We're
that stuff.
definitely going to discuss the aesthetics of the ships.
Oh yeah. There's good stuff there. And
Yes.
so I went. I really enjoyed myself. The food was great. The service is great. Like you get like your person that serves you all your meals on the ship. You can choose whether you want to eat at with all the families with their children, or you could do the later the 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 later dining time where all the adults are and all the kids are in bed. And I've done both now because I've sailed without children, and I've sailed with children. Definitely different experience.
I would definitely expect
um,
that. Yes.
Yeah, but I do want to dispel kind of something that I don't know if your listening audience or your stream audience is aware is a lot of people, they see Disney cruise and like, I don't really want to go on a kiddie boat, uh,
I
and
know where you're going with this. Yes.
and that could not be further from the truth. Because one thing I tell people, like after this and then subsequent sailings, is the thing about a Disney cruise is there's something for everybody. Whether you're someone like your age, um, and whether you have kids, whether you're just a married couple, whether you're maybe an older couple, teenagers, children, they have something for everybody. They have like teen nightclubs that the teens can go to while their parents want to do whatever they want to do. They do serve alcohol. A lot of people don't think that they do because it's Disney, and they think that it's just for the kids. um,
Hence,
um,
this comment is to your point.
yes, yes, there are lots of kids, but there are also a lot to do that the kids aren't doing. Like like if you wanted to because a lot of the kids will go on like where the ship will port, um, whether that be Mexico, whether that be Nassau, Bahamas, or sometimes there's been some cruises they've gone to Alaska. Like there are a lot of kids, but usually those kids congregate during the kids' activities because, you have your character meet and greets like you would at a Disneyland or a Disney World that they do, but there's also lots of activities. There's kids areas, they call them the Oceaneer clubs, and and a lot of them are very themed. They have your Toy Story, you have yeah, is that the Wonder? Is that that we're looking
So
at here?
yeah, just thought I'd start pulling up our pictures. I can't tell by the name.
Anyway,
Uh,
um,
but yeah,
but
continue.
but yeah, like you'll see the kids there, but for most part, you might not even run into children. Like if you go if um if you go to Disney's private island, they have an adult beach, and they also have the family beach. And so yeah, there's lots of great things to do there, and I had a great time on my cruise. Like like the yes, they do. Like at night, like eat like and like because they're also you have your theaters inside the ship, that will play first run Disney movies, which are movies that are playing, whether whether they play around, whether we're playing, maybe a couple months back, or sometimes like 6 months back, or the or whether it's just coming out.
Right.
But they'll also have movies that they'll be playing all day long, whether it's daytime, nighttime. Like if you go on deck during the nighttime, you can really see the movie, and it's really a nice experience. It's really cool. So yeah, but yeah, fun times, great times. Yeah, so I enjoyed it, and I will hopefully be going on my fifth one soon. I've had to cancel a couple of them because just life and stuff, things happen.
Sure.
But yeah, like I will recommend a Disney cruise to just about anybody.
And I want to go back to that, the adult part, because I mean, obviously, we're most of us, we've got a couple of teens in here, but for the most part, it's
Sure.
all adults here. And you mentioned there is a bar on the Carnival Spirit. Of course,
There's a bar and
it's
pool.
there. Okay, so that's what I was gonna get at. Is there an adults only area on the ship? Because there was one
Yes,
on the Spirit.
yes, because you have your main deck, which has got the main pool where all the families are, and there's like a splash pad attached that you can take your kids to. But there's also an yes, they do only screen Disney movies. But now that it's extended, since Disney bought Fox, they now they now screen Fox movies. So if you're happen to be on a cruise when Avatar comes out, then you can see it on the ship.
So
But
there's a
yes.
running joke, and I've shown this joke to you before. So now that
Mhm.
Disney owns Fox, they own the Alien franchise. That makes the Alien Queen a Disney princess.
That's right. That's right. That's right. um, yes, and if that's to be believed, then Buffy the Vampire Slayer is also a Disney princess. So there you go, because Fox created that show.
There
They
you go.
So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, there is an adult section where you can just um, yes, there's the Disney Destiny, but there's also the Disney Adventure that's also coming too.
Okay.
There's like, it's so funny because um, I feel like we need to talk about this now because it's like the
You
third
know
time
what?
it's come up.
Well, and I'm telling you, my ship community. This is one thing we have a common thing in that we've talked about, and I know you've seen us discuss this on the Discord. You are, of course, in my Discord.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead because you took a fantastic photo that you sent to me, and it's the Wonder, and that is part of our thumbnail for this live stream. So let's bring this
Sure.
image up and let's discuss the aesthetics of the Disney ships because I agree for the most part, the Disney ships look more like classic ocean liners than
Mhm.
any
Mhm.
other modern vessels out there. And I'm sure that's intentional.
Oh, it's one hundred
And
percent intentional. 100%
you know a
intentional.
little more bit more about, what's going on with that. So, lay it on us.
Okay, so when they decided they were, because cruise lines, this is around like early '90s, like cruise lines were starting to be a big thing. There was a thing called the Big Red Boat that they were doing, um, and they wanted to do their own cruise line because if there's one thing that we know about Disney, and this is not cynical, this is not a knock on Disney, is they like to do their own thing. They like to keep all their eggs in their basket. They want to do their own streaming service. They want to, if there's a Star Wars show on Cartoon Network, no, we're going to cancel that show. We're going to put we're gonna do our own shows, kind of thing. And they want to do a Disney. They wanted to do a Disney cruise line, but they didn't want the cruise to be like, they wanted to have that experience that you would have, going on, the Queen Mary or the Queen Elizabeth or the Titanic, without minus the iceberg, of course. But they wanted to have that feel, and that's the kind of the design they go to. You see with the bow of the ship that's what they're going for. Just the way like the painting on there is going for. It looks very much like that, and especially with the funnels on the ship. That's definitely something they're going for. Something I did want to mention, and it's also very interesting. It's very interesting if we could zoom in on the lifeboats.
Yes, let's do that.
The lifeboats there, you notice that they are yellow. Now, as you and I'm sure your audience is aware, that lifeboats are by law supposed to be orange. Well, obviously that doesn't really go with the Disney color scheme. So they Disney basically fought to basically make the lifeboats yellow, and they won, and we have yellow lifeboats that you could see like outside your veranda there, outside your balcony, outside your room. You could see the yellow lifeboats, and that's not something that was traditionally done. And since then, other cruise lines have put yellow boats on their ships.
Now let's talk about the. I do want to make one comment before I get to this next thing.
Sure.
Looking at her from this angle, she reminds me a lot of a 60s, a late 50s, 1960s ocean
Yeah.
liner. If you ever look at pictures of the SS France, which later became the Norway, or the Queen Elizabeth II.
Sure.
This design to me is more reminiscent of ships like that, and those were absolutely gorgeous ships. Well, the Norway became ugly when they put the ugly hat on, but that's for something completely different.
Sure. And not only the exterior, but the interior has that that classic ocean liner feel. Like you look at the 100%. But I'm not biased though.
Well, look, I am not the Disney fan that you are, rather than the
Sure.
ships or anything, and I'm totally agreeing with you on this. Aesthetically, from this angle, this is a nice looking vessel.
And it's even on the interior, like the um the elevator that goes onto the various levels, to the various decks on the ship. um it's very much like that, very much that, like that classic maritime, and like the carpeting and just everything just screams, like look at this, like look at that, like that looks like something that you'd see in Titanic. um
Now,
and
is
they
this the Wonder, or is this a different ship? Do you
this is
remember?
I believe is the Wonder.
Okay.
um and the Wonder's smaller, um than because when Disney started, they had the Disney Magic. I believe it was 95. And around the same time we had the Disney Wonder, and then a few years later they had the Disney Dream and the Disney Fantasy, and then recently they've come out with more ships, the Disney Wish, the Disney Treasure, Disney Destiny's coming, and at first they were going to do 3 ships, and then they were like, you know what, we're going to do another one, because their shipbuilder Meyer Werft had like a ship for a cruise line all set to go, but then they dropped. And so they're like, hey, Disney, you want this? Like, sure, we'll take it.
Why not?
Why not? And so yeah, they've got a whole fleet going, and they go various locations. So yeah,
Here's a view from the stern. Let's pull this up here. There we
yeah,
go.
yeah. And if you let's zoom in on that stern.
So this
That's
is
the
the
fantasy.
Fantasy.
That's the Fantasy. And you see, you've got your Disney Fantasy, but you've also got a Disney character at the stern, and
Oh yes.
they have done that with every Disney ship. um and and the most recent one, I believe it's the Destiny. Yeah, it's the Destiny. Has Spider-Man on there.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah, and and with each atrium of the ship has a different look to it, and has a statue of a Disney character. And the Disney Destiny has Black Panther at the center, so it's cool.
Now, one thing I want to point out. Let's zoom in here. You see this pattern here on the stern.
Uh-huh.
I know you won't get this reference, but
Sure.
my viewers will appreciate that. They're on some of the classic ocean liners. You had a pattern, something like this on the bow and on the stern. Guys in the chat, the Imperators come to mind. I know they know what that is. So we're seeing some classic things going on, not only with with like the bow section, not so much the stern. The stern, it looks more like a modern cruise ship, but
Sure.
on the bow it looks more like a classic ship. The paint scheme as well. You described to me at one time what's going on with this paint scheme. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
I mean, it's basically Mickey colors. Like that's the color scheme that they're going for, because if you look at the funnel, it's red and it's black, and then you've got the black, navy blue going, and you've got the yellow, and that's why they wanted the yellow lifeboats, because well, Mickey has yellow shoes, and
Mhm.
and that's our color scheme that we want to go with. And like I said, laws just say, like, no, they have to be orange, they have to be orange. And they follow all. Yeah, like here's a real, this is a model of either the Dream or the Fantasy. This is at the Disney port at Canaveral in Florida. This is where you I don't know, because I've never
Yeah,
had to use the lifeboats, thankfully.
right. So
Um,
we don't know unless one of them is accidentally uncovered one day, which I highly doubt.
yes, no, that has not happened. I couldn't tell you if they had those. Um, but yeah, the color scheme is very intentional, because you've got like the white of Mickey's eyes, and you've got the red and yellow and black for Mickey, and that's why we have the yellow lifeboats. But there are hidden Mickeys on the ship, so you can find those wherever you
Uh,
want to look
it's
for it.
interesting. Carnival does this little thing, and it's not. I don't know if it's something official that they do, or if it's just something the passengers do. But people will bring a whole boatload of rubber ducks onto the Carnival ship and hide them all over, and
Oh yeah,
you have a duck hunt throughout your voyage.
they do that on the Disney ship too. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Also, something that's cool is because Port Canaveral has several ships that port there. You have your Norwegian, you have your Carnival, your Royal Caribbean, and Disney. They actually have um, um, like horns, because all the other cruise ships have standard horns, and they tailored their horns to be Disney music.
Okay.
And I have them all as ringtones. um,
Of course you do.
and they actually have Star Wars ones, like they have the Imperial March. They have they they did Do You Want to Build a Snowman? They did, When You Wish Upon a Star, and usually when there's like basically a horn off between the other ships, Disney always wins, because they've got the music. So yeah,
Indeed.
yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool when you get to hear those things, and you're like,
Well,
that's
Ozzy's
neat.
here. Welcome, Ozzy. Nice to have you. I'm going to beat Ozzy to the punch. Tim, do you know if the Disney cruise ships have a potato room?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm sure they have potatoes on the ship.
Oh yeah, well they have to have potatoes. You got to eat something.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
let's talk about that for a minute. What
sure.
is the food on the ship like, and is that included in the packages, or is your food something you know that you
It
buy
is
separate?
included.
How's it
It
how's it work?
it is included in the package when you when you pay for your cruise. And
Okay.
people will see prices for a cruise and like, oh my gosh, this looks so expensive, but you're paying for your food, you're paying for like basically all this great stuff that's all inclusive. You even get free room service. That like
Really?
if you're still hungry and you want something, you can get free room service. The cookies that are through the free room service are exquisite and to die for. They're like I always like, oh, I'm gonna get a cookie because I'm still hungry. But yeah, the food is very exquisite, and the restaurants are really great too because they're themed because and the thing is like each ship has a different like selection of dining experiences, um, and each one's different. Like on the fantasy, I have to look at my, give me a second here. You with the fantasy and the dream, they've got Enchanted Garden, the Royal Court, which is Disney princess themed, and also Animator's Palette, which is very much animation themed, like the butter knife is in the shape of a paintbrush. Like even the like the blade is like the tip of the paintbrush. Um, it's a very cool restaurant. It's always fun to go in there,
Mhm.
and and Disney Wonder has that as well. Has like the first four ships: Wonder, Magic, uh, Dream, Fantasy. They all have like two restaurants, and as well as Animator's Palette. So wherever you go, you're going to get Animator's Palette. So that's always a nice like comfort. And they also have Tiana's Place, which is like New Orleans themed food. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, because the Princess and the Frog, the Disney movie that Tiana's Place is based off of, is set in New Orleans. And you also have Triton's, which has a lot of seafood because it's the Little Mermaid. But you also have quick service places, like if you just want something quick for lunch, that are on deck, like a quick burger or a quick pizza. You want some ice cream, you can get that. Um, and yeah, so and wherever you go, like on deck, they have places you can refill your refill a cup, and it's free, and you could just if you're like, you know what, I want a soda, and just go on deck, and there's a soda dispenser, and just grab your soda and just fill it up. Yeah, good stuff. Like the food is fantastic. Like the food is why you go. I mean, all the other stuff's great, but the food
Uh,
is fantastic. Yeah.
Real quick, I just want to address Mark's comment here. The ship is not all white, Mark. It's just this building here is obstructing the part of the hull that's black. If you
Mhm.
look right here, you can see the black on the hull.
Yeah. It's not all white. That would be very boring. Not to throw shade at Disney cruises that do that. It's just it makes the cruises, it makes the Disney cruise ships pop, uh,
Yeah.
like with all the color that they have. Yeah.
So in
Also,
comparison,
also food. There's also a buffet, um, um, that I'm blanking on the name of, but there's a nice all you can eat buffet that you can have that's on every ship as well. So they've changed up like the restaurant selection with the newer ships, with the Wish, the Destiny, the Treasure, and things like that. But that's just of necessity. Like there's a Frozen restaurant, there's even a Marvel restaurant, there's a Star Wars bar on one of them. Um, and so yeah, you can get some Star Wars drinks there if you wanted to.
so to in comparison, and I've only been on the Carnival Spirit thus far, which is one of the
Sure,
older, smaller ships.
Sure.
The way that particular ship was set up, pretty much everything was a buffet. There were only
Interesting.
two restaurants that were separate. You had a steakhouse that was on, I think, deck 10, and you had a sushi bar that was down on deck 2 by the casino. Um,
And
Everything else, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say that, you know, Disney does have a restaurant like the ones you're describing. Um um yeah. There's a spot, like there's like the adult pool and bar. You can look out over the ocean. Um and you know, like there are restaurants, Remy, which is, you know, themed after the Disney Pixar film Ratatouille, and also Paulo, which, you know, is more of a steakhouse kind of place. I don't
Right.
know, Paulo's more Italian now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, Remy has more of an exotic cuisine, but you have to pay for those.
Yeah.
Like those you have to pay extra. Those are not included like the other restaurants are. So
Right.
if you want like a fancy meal, you have to pay for that fancy meal, and it is pricey. I've never been on it. I know people who have. I've never been on it because I've never been able to afford it, and I don't see the point when the food is already so good. So, and I'm not paying, and I don't need to pay extra for it. So,
Right. And
yeah,
that's how I was. I did eat at the sushi bar one day because I'm a sushi nut. I love sushi.
sure,
The steakhouse was like
YOLO.
50, $60. So I passed on that.
Yeah,
But everything else, like I was saying, is pretty much all buffets, and it's a variety of buffets, and even the restaurant on board is called the Empire Restaurant. It's all the way aft. It's on the second deck. You can feel that's the one spot on the ship where I could actually feel the engines when we would go to dinner.
uh huh,
But what was the thing about the dinner was what they were serving at dinner. You could easily walk up to the buffet and get the same stuff. So
right,
we went to dinner each night for the experience of it,
sure,
and I would say now I'm from Louisiana. I'm born and raised here.
sure,
We have a very different idea from most people about good food. So
yeah, yeah,
I'm a bit more critical, probably than maybe I should be. So I would say that the food was not. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't what I would have hoped for. I'll leave it at that.
right. One criticism I've heard of Carnival is basically, and you know, no shade for the cruise that you went on at all, but that it is mostly that it was just a glorified booze cruise. I don't know if you could speak to that, or if you agree with that, or what have you. But
Uh,
that's just what I've heard. I've never been on a Carnival cruise, but that's just what I've heard.
that wasn't my experience. I mean,
Okay,
granted, of course, there are bars throughout the ship.
sure,
Uh, no, I really can't speak to that. That's not to say that maybe other ships don't have that.
sure,
I'm going to get a different experience in January because I'm going on a different ship. Got that cruise booked. It's going to be the Carnival Valor, which
okay.
is a slightly newer, and by newer, only a few years newer, and
Hmm.
larger, aesthetically more hideous ship. So
Huh,
I will find out in due time if they're all structured the same way, as the Spirit, just the two restaurants that you pay extra for, like I mentioned, and is it just all buffets and stuff like that?
right.
So anyway, let's. I know I kind of cut you off there. Let's pull up another photo here. Looks like we are looking at a pool and
Yeah,
area.
this is the main pool area. This is the main pool that, you know, the families will be there. Um, Not this funnel, but there's a funnel on the other side that's not pictured. That's the funnel that has that has the screen on it. That's called Funnel Vision, uh, and um, and so yeah, so you'll be able to see like what movie is playing, and like they'll play a movie throughout the day. You can't you can hear it really well, but depending on how sunny it is outside, depends on how well you can see it. Funnel vision is best experienced at night, in my opinion, because you can see it better. Um, but yeah, still fun.
Yeah, and we have a similar area on the Spirit, of course,
Sure,
but their screen was not attached to one of the funnels. It's just a big screen,
sure,
like a super giant TV. Be the best way I could describe it.
sure. And that area where the screen is, like they'll have like really cool like shows where uh like on pirate they have this thing on the Disney cruise called Pirate Night where you dress up as a pirate and there's like pirate themed food. They have a pirate show. If you stay after the pirate show, you can, yeah, there it is right there. That's the screen. That's funnel vision. But you see right there, you see that that like deck area. That's where they have the show. That's where like the dancers will be and stuff like that. um, and like they'll have a sail away party as the ship sails away. And It's really cool stuff. And then on Pirate Night, after the show is over, they will play Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. And so yeah,
Do you need to mute for a second?
I don't. My wife
Okay,
was going to take care of it. Um,
gotcha.
and yeah, so that's that's what that that's what's there. That's what happens there. But yeah, but
So I'm gonna set us up to look at some interior shots here, and I'm just gonna kind of scroll through these, and you can fill us in on
sure.
what these are and what's happening.
Right. There's the animator's palette. That's where the restaurant is. Get down, buddy. um, and so yeah, that's the restaurant. So pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
Yeah. This is the Buena Vista Theater. This is where they will have some of the not only the movies, but also they will have live entertainment. They'll have like Disney themed shows like the Golden Mickeys, which is like basically Disney's greatest hits. And they'll have like shows that are basically truncated versions of some of the Disney films. Like they'll have some things have Beauty and the Beast, some have Frozen. So yeah, they'll have live entertainment, and that's included. You don't have to pay extra for it. It's there. They'll I've even seen magic shows uh, there, and it's really cool. Yeah.
So that was one thing that we planned this out pretty well. So one thing I do have to give credit to Carnival for on my cruise was the live shows that they put on were really good. They
Mhm.
were excellent. The
Yeah.
cast was fantastic. I mean, it was mostly like musical stage shows, and
Sure.
these people could dance, they could sing. They you
Hmm.
had a few that could just belt some notes out, and
Right.
each night was a different theme. Like one night it was like a luau themed show,
That's
or
cool.
one night was like 80s rock and so forth and so on. And I have no complaints about that at all. I think that was one of the best parts of the trip.
Great. Yeah. Um, some of the live entertainment that I was treated to, not just the Disney themed stuff, but also some of like ventriloquist acts or magic acts and stand up comedy, and it's good stuff. This is animated. This is the inside of Animator's palette. So you see, you got your animation theme. You got the paint palette. You got the paintbrush, and yeah, and you could draw a picture and they'll animate it on the screen, which is always fun for the kids and always fun for everybody else. Um, so yeah,
Excellent.
and see, this is like a nice little set dressing that we have here. You can't take those out; they're glued. So yeah, but it's nice to look at. It's nice to look at.
Sure.
All the Disney restaurants are very aesthetically pleasing. So
Now, I know we've mostly been talking about the Wonder, but how many ships have you been on?
I've been on I've been on three. I've been on the Dream twice. I've been on the Fantasy once, and I've been on the Wonder once.
Okay.
And see, there's me and my wife in front of the Walt Disney Theater, which is the other theater that you can go see movies at on the ship. And so, yeah, and they'll be playing throughout the day.
Uh,
And
I'm
if you
feeling
get,
the classic design here.
yeah,
With
yeah,
the wording here and the
mhm,
columns. This almost looks like something that you would find on the Queen Mary, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. And there's me at Tiana's place, um, and that's on the Wonder, and really really fun dining experience. Really fun dining experience. Food's good too.
Okay. This
And,
looks like
and
an atrium.
this is our atrium, um, and uh, and see, there's Donald down there on the at the statue, and see, this is what I was talking about, like, like the window, like the porthole windows, um, the like just the design of of the elevator is really cool. Just really, harkens back to that classic time of sailing. And also, here's a cool thing. When you get onto the ship, they will and as you get inside, they'll say, and announcing the such and such family, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's really cool, and they do that every time, and it's just like, it just feels nice to be welcomed in. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's really cool. It's really cool to do that. The service is fantastic. Like I think I mentioned, you get a custom server. Like, you have
Yes.
the same server throughout your entire cruise. You have the same, person who cleans your room, and things like that. And yeah,
Now,
and
that is the same on Carnival.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
keep
it's
going.
it's it's fantastic, and like, they don't skimp out, and like, you really feel like you're being taken care of, and you get to know your person, um, as you know, and it's just a fun time. It's a fun time. It's just great. It's just great, and hearing their experiences, like how often they um, they uh, they go home to their countries, because they're not all from the U.S. Um, it's
Same
just
for Carnival.
it's just it's just feel like you're just like, wow, this is cool. This actually, depending where you are on the ship, will tell you if you're heading towards aft, if you're heading towards midship, if you're heading towards the front, um, and like, it will actually tell you, like, okay, this is like basically where the globe is situated, tells you
Mhm.
where you're going, and if you're in the right spot or not.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. um this is not something I knew on my first couple of cruises. On my last couple of cruises, I went on a ship tour, and they they mentioned that, and I'm like, that's really neat. I never noticed that. Now, every time now, like, when I went on my first guided ship tour, and I saw that, I noticed it, and like, okay, now I know where I'm going, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I dig that. Um, what was I going to ask you about? Let's talk about the ports. Which ports did you go to on the Wonder, and where did you sail out of?
On the Wonder, I sailed out of San Diego, um, and then we went to Mexico for the Wonder. Fantasy, I believe. Fantasy, we sailed out of Florida, and that was the same with the Dream. We sailed out of Florida. See, there's my nice little towel animal that they do for.
Carnival does this too, and that's actually pretty cool. Each morning it was a different animal. We had
It
a
is so cool.
dog
It is
one
so
morning. We had
cool.
an elephant. We had monkey. I forget what else.
Like, one time, I left my sunglasses in my room. I don't have a picture of this, but I left my sunglasses in my room, and they put my sunglasses on my towel animal.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
as like the towel animal was wearing them, and that was really neat.
Nice.
So yeah,
So yeah,
um,
back to the ports you were
yeah,
mentioning.
and then with because with the Dream and the Fantasy, sailed out of Port Canaveral and went to Nassau, Bahamas. Um,
We went there.
and with with the Wonder, went sailed out of San Diego, went to Mexico. Didn't get off the ship, um, because didn't feel comfortable doing that. And no shade to anybody who lives there, but another port that we have is where this is ported. This is Castaway Key. Um, this is Castaway Key. This is Disney's private island, that they have, and they have the main beach, that you can go to, and also, which is where all the families are, and if you have kids, that's where you're going to be. Um, but then they have, if you like, go far enough, you go to Serenity Bay, which is the adult only beach, and like, because you go to the main beach, and here's me on the main beach, um, and you see everybody. It's there. You, like everybody, like, it's loud. Like people are playing in the water and stuff like that. You go to Serenity Bay. You're like, am I even on the same island?
Now, where is this? Is this in the Bahamas or is this?
This is in the Bahamas. Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the Bahamas. And yeah, it's like, it's there. They have a nice little barbecue style restaurants that you can eat there on deck. One time I was at the adult only beach. I stepped on a sea urchin, and my foot was out of commission for the entire trip.
Ouch.
Yeah, and I had to go back to work as soon as I came back from that, and that was a struggle, because I basically had to wait for all the needles to basically come out of my skin,
Right.
and that was not fun.
Yeah, for real.
Thank heavens for the movies on the ship, so I could basically put my foot up.
Something to do.
Something to do, yeah.
That's Carnival also has their own private island in the Bahamas. It's called Half Moon Cay, and I essentially have a picture like what I just showed, the one you just showed, but I've got our ship behind me off in the distance.
Nice.
And ours was an 8-day cruise, and I have to say, coincidentally, we ended up at Half Moon Cay on Thanksgiving Day last year, and that was actually my favorite part of the whole cruise, just going on the beach, which is a strange coincidence for me because I am not a beach person. I don't go to the beach.
Me neither. I'm not a beach person either. I mean, I obviously, where I am, there's not a lot of beaches. But there are not a lot of beaches where I am, but like, yeah, it's just a fun thing. It's just a yeah. I'm not a beach person, so I don't really frequent the beach. But yeah, this is funny. This is actually it's on the fantasy. It's I'm gonna get my dog out. So.
Dog just wants to have a little fun and be on the stream too.
He loves to have fun. That's the problem.
Can we get the dog to subscribe to the channel?
Maybe.
He could be a member. We have members only videos, by the way.
That's right. This is the smallest stateroom on the ship, on the Disney Fantasy. You can't go in it, but it's just there for show. It's Pepe the King Prawn from the Muppets. And that's his room.
Okay.
And it's like probably like this, like this tall. And it's just there for show. It's fun. You can get a picture by it, so it's neat. It's
okay. Let's see. What do we have next here? So what do we have here? What are we looking at?
This is your TV in your stateroom.
Okay.
And it says, "Hey, welcome to your stateroom. Welcome, Costello family." You could there's all and there's movies you can stream on there too. And they hadn't quite set. They still don't have it set up where you can stream Disney Plus on the ships yet.
That's
Last
amazing. I would have thought for sure you'd have that.
um um yeah, like they still this was 2022 and they still didn't have Disney Plus on here. I was at Disneyland just a couple months ago, and I was at a Disney hotel. They still didn't have Disney Plus in there, and I was trying to set it up and everything, and and yeah, it just was not working. My favorite part of the ship, yes, that's my answer. Yes.
Okay.
I,
Well,
I like most everything.
well,
About the Disney ships.
well.
Um,
Let's look at it this way. As far as the amenities on the ship, was there anything in particular that stood out to you?
oh, the food always stands out. The food is fantastic. I
Mhm.
like as soon as I step onto the ship, I'm like, let's eat. Like I'm hungry because usually,
Now,
I've been on a
right.
plane or I've been like we just left the hotel. This this is inside the Disney buffet area. They actually have um, um, they actually, and I didn't share these pictures, but they actually have um, pictures. Um, Cabanas is the name of this. Cabanas is the
Okay.
name of the um, um, Cabanas is the name of of the buffet there.
Right.
And they actually have like sand, like not sand castles, but like a little sculpture that's made out of sand.
Okay.
And Actually, if you go to the front desk, they have like they have a map that has all the different ships. At the time, it was only four, um, and then at the time it was only four. But also they have like landmarks of all the different parks, like throughout the world, which is kind of cool. I have a
Mhm.
picture of it somewhere. It's really neat. It's really neat. Yeah.
So, I want
The
to
shops are great
besides.
too. I love the shops too.
Okay.
Like when it comes to Disney trips, like the first thing I want to do is like check out the shops, and the shops are really great too. I really love those. You cannot uh go to the only time you can go to the shops is if the ship is like on the water, like when it's ported, can't go. Um
Okay.
and Yeah, so like you can only go there when the ship is basically moving. And so, I mean, obviously, when you're ported, they all like you want to go on to the ports, to the Bahamas, and get all that cool stuff. Um,
Right.
like I have, um, what I can only describe. The drum from the Karate Kid 2.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Of
I
course.
have one of those that I got from Nassau with a picture of the Hulk on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, yeah, that's basically what it is. Like it's the only way I know how to describe it. um,
Well,
and
what
so
what about other amenities on the ship besides the food, like the entertainment
the
portion?
entertainment is really good. I really enjoy the theater. Um, the theater, like not just the live entertainment, but also like the movies themselves, and and you would say like, well, of course it's a Disney movie, why wouldn't you like it? Or it's a Marvel movie, why wouldn't you like it?
Right.
The screen is really good. Like this, like it's and like it looks like an old time theater, like that you would go to, like a classic Nickelodeon kind of thing.
Mhm.
um and I really like the way things are seated, and it's like the seats are comfortable. um and Yeah, so yeah, it's great. Yeah, I love going to the theater. I love um sometimes they have the Oceaneer clubs are like they have open houses for them, and some of them are Star Wars and Marvel themed, and so those are
Okay.
cool, so you can like basically drive the Millennium Falcon. And so that's kind of cool. Yeah, there's just so much to love there. Like you could like walk around the ship and be like, oh wow, like this is really cool. This is really neat. Um, um, uh, I actually there's also a thing that the that the kids can do. Um, um, and like basically your toddlers that crawl. It's if you've seen The Incredibles, and you know the character of Jack Jack, there's a Jack Jack diaper dash where you know like the kids will just like crawl and race. um I have a video of my son doing that, and basically we told him, I don't know if he understood us when we told him, it's like, you will not walk until you do this. Like after that, fine, walk. We don't care, but you will not walk until you do this. Um, and um, and he smoked all the other babies. Uh, and it's so cute because you could tell like which child is mine, because like it's just this small shape, just like ahead of everybody else. And then instead of, and then he had to come back to me, and then he just went the other way. He went back. uh but because he smoked all the other babies, they gave us a medal anyway. So
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask. Are there arcades on any of the ships?
arcades, I'm not sure. Because I'm not a huge gamer, I don't know about any of that. There are
Okay.
trivia contests though.
Carnival has the trivia contest.
Yes,
And
I got a medal for the Marvel trivia contest. I'm pretty
oh,
proud of it.
nice.
uh
The Spirit had an arcade, but it was really disappointing, to be honest. It was about the size of your average garage on a house. There wasn't really much going on there, so I was a little bummed by that. Um, well, Tim, we are almost at an hour here, so we're getting close to wrap time. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you would like to share?
I don't know. I feel like we've covered everything. And Disney is building like I've only been on like three of the four classic ships. I haven't been on any of the new ones, just because I'm waiting for the novelty of them to die down. Uh,
Mhm. Right.
because when a new ship goes on its main voyage, it's just like, oh, I want to go on that. I want to go on that, and that thing's pricey, as you can imagine.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
More pricey than just a regular voyage. Um, and what's great about Disney is, like I said, there's everything for everyone. And I know when people see the prices, they're like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't afford this. Well, there are payment plans that you can do. Like you don't have to pay for it all at once. Like as long as you pay within, like I think it's 90 days prior to sailing. So it gives
Paid
you
in
time.
full, that is.
Yes, paid in full. Um, like
You don't have to pay like 4,000 up 90 days right before the cruise. You have an
right. No,
extended period.
you could do payment plans. And you can actually, when you go on the ship, they like when you're done, you could do a placeholder, and they give you a discount for booking the placeholder on the ship. You could choose a cruise that you want to do, or you could just do a placeholder. Like, I don't know what I want to do yet, but I know I want to book a cruise right now, and I'm getting the discount, so I want to do it just now. So yeah, like it's easy to get sticker shock when you see those prices, but there are payment plans, and I think it's really worth it. And I think it's a fantastic experience that I would highly recommend. Like anyone try it at least once.
Excellent. Well, my friend, I appreciate you coming on here and talking to us about this.
I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it. I was glad you asked.
A couple of notes for those in the chat. Next week's live stream has already been scheduled last night, and you guys are going to be excited to know that Shane from the Buffalo Naval Park is returning. We are going to be live streaming with him next week, so stay tuned to that. And Tim, I'm going to ask you this on air before we wrap up. I have an idea for a members only stream And I was wondering if you would be interested in doing this with me. This is some really, really old school stuff for you and I. Uh, what do you think?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Are we just gonna do select episodes or
Well, we're like a series recap. And
I could be down with this. I have thoughts on the entire series because I revisited it recently.
absolutely.
Since it's ended. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'm down.
For those who don't know, this is how Tim and I met, and I told the story in the Discord the other day. Tim had a podcast about supernatural called The Crossroads. He made the mistake of inviting me
I was
onto it one
desperate. I
time.
was desperate.
He was absolutely desperate. His other co-host couldn't make it for whatever reason. He invited me, and we've been friends since. So.
Mm-hmm.
But
Just
yeah, if you're interested, I will coordinate with that. Coordinate that with you in
sure.
the future.
And it's going to be an hour-long stream, right?
Absolutely.
Great, awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
15 seasons in 1 hour. We could do it.
We got this. We got this. Tim, you got any social media? Anything you want to share before we go?
I'm on Instagram. Tim writes today. I have a Substack. I'm trying to contribute regularly to it as often as I can. Sometimes life gets in the way. I've recently written Substack posts about the films of James Cameron, and that includes Titanic. Includes Abyss, which it's obviously centered around an oil tanker, so obviously of great interest here. I did a basically how I feel about Marvel movies right now. That's my most recent thing. I was gonna do something else as well, but illness befell me, so I was not able to do that. So, but yeah, I'm contributing to that as often as I can, when I can.
Cool deal. And with that,
And that's it. That's timwritestoday.substack.com.
There you go. I should have made a banner for that. I didn't. I apologize. But there it is, folks. Go and check that out. And that's it. That's a wrap for this week. Thanks again, my friend, for coming on. It's much appreciated.
No problem. Happy to do it always.
All right, guys. Until next week, enjoy your weekend and